What's going on, guys? This is Mikeinoid, and today I wanted to talk about the current trend that Nintendo is on, especially of this past year, which is releasing ports and remasters / remakes. Just a little over last week, Nintendo announced their next console, the Switch 2, which actually overshadowed the release of the game that inspired me to look further into this topic, and that's Donkey Kong Country Returns HD. DKC Returns HD is technically a remaster of the 3DS version, Country Returns 3D, which was a port of the original Wii version back in 2010. The reason I say it's a remaster of the 3DS version is because the 3DS version has an easy mode option you can choose from when you start a new game, which is also present in the HD Switch version. Now, this isn't necessarily a new thing. I mean, Nintendo has been releasing ports since the Nintendo Switch launched back in 2017. Some of the earliest ports were from the Wii U, like Mario Kart 8, Poppin Tournament, and Bayonetta 2, just to name a few. It made sense why Nintendo has ported so many Wii U games over to the Switch, since only myself and a few other people actually owned a Wii U. And when these games were ported over, they would get a little more extra content just to justify the $60 price tag. I know Country Returns HD is a remaster, but $60 is kind of crazy. I mean, they made it look good on the Switch, which is something you expect in a remaster, but nothing else was really added to the game. At least they added funky mode to the Tropical Freeze port. We couldn't even get a funky mode for Country Returns? As someone who's played and beaten Country Returns, both on the Wii and 3DS, I know that this is a great 2D platformer and overall a fun game. This is one of the many Wii games that's better than Sport Hero, okay? But $60 for a 15-year-old game? Oh my god, 15 years? I'm old as shit. Originally, the Wii game sold at $50 and the 3DS version at $40, but both got Nintendo Selects versions that made them $20. It was actually even possible to just download Country Returns on your Wii U for only $20. Listen, I'm just stating the facts here, okay? Because if I were to complain about it, I would have no right. So yeah, I bought the game despite my dumbass still having both previous versions. I was actually not planning on picking this up when it was released, but GameStop had to include a DK Barrel pencil cup with pre-orders, okay? Now my life is complete. I do like the inside art of the world map. I think this is pretty sick, but other than that, it's the same game on a Switch cart. I played through the levels of the first world so far, and it plays great with using a Pro controller especially. You can also use motion controls with the Joy-Cons just like the Wiimote and Nunchuck from back in the day, but my muscle memory just has me using the buttons instead, but that's just me. And the game does look nice. Alright, I'm not denying that it doesn't. It looks beautiful. It looks like it belongs on the Switch, and I do plan on playing through this game just like I did twice already. The fact that this game is 15 years old now does put in the perspective that there are kids out there that haven't played Country Returns and don't have a Wii or 3DS to play it on. And who knows, maybe you've played it all those years back but don't have it anymore or the console to play it on, but you do have a Switch, so now you can experience it again on better hardware. But at the end of the day, this game is still being sold for $60, and this isn't going to be the last port / remaster Nintendo will do, because we have another Wii U port coming in March, and that's Xenoblade Chronicles X. I don't have anything against ports and remasters. I mean, for the most part, I think it's great that they bring over games that may be harder to come by. Just look at Metroid Prime Remastered, Super Mario RPG, and Paper Mario Thousand Year Door. You know, I always wanted to play these games, but for the most part, you know, the prices for the physical copy were just too expensive. These are pretty much remakes, to be fair, but I think these are good examples of bringing over old games and selling them for $60, especially when the physical physical copies of their original version are pretty expensive now. And actually, Metroid Prime Remastered is only $40, which just blows my mind. Yeah, it's just the Switch is pretty expensive to get games for, since the first party games rarely go on sale, and if they do, it's only like $30 or $40. If the game is on sale for $20, then it may be a stinker or just not a well-rated game. So when you're asking for $60 for a game that is available on other platforms, granted they are older platforms, you can still get them for fairly cheap on eBay or other secondhand places. Another example of a game that they ported over was Luigi's Mansion 2, also known as Dark Moon. That game was always the max $40 on a 3DS. Now it's $60 and it's just HD basically. It's just strange that they just want $60 for a Wii game, but that's kind of just how the Switch has been operating, just very expensive to collect for. And I will say, I think it's time for Donkey Kong to get a new game. All right, at this point I don't care if it's another 2D platformer or a 3D platformer, I just want to see something new. I know buying Country Returns HD is probably telling Nintendo to keep porting old Wii games for $60, but I hope it also tells them that people like Donkey Kong games and want to see more of them. So maybe the Switch 2 will finally give Donkey Kong a new game. I mean, you know, it already gave him a new look, so I'm very optimistic. All I'm saying is, if we're gonna get ports and remakes and remasters and you're gonna charge $60, I just hope that there's enough content that's added for people who've already played the game before, so it feels justified to get it at the full price tag, you know. Well, that's going to be it for today's video. Let me know what you guys think of ports and remasters down in the comments below. Thank you guys for watching, and of course I will see you guys in the next one. Take care. Before y'all go, check out my DK shuffle. Appreciate it. Now cue the outro.